Hello friends, this video on Hello Alkanes and Hello Arenes part 27 is brought to you by examfear.com. No more fear from exam. Now we'll talk about the reactions of haloalkanes with metals. They form something called organometallic compounds. So if you see, most of the organic chlorides, whether it's bromides or iodides, these three actually, not the fluorides, they react with some metals to give chemical metal bonds. It's called organometallic compound. This is something like this RMgX, where X will get slightly negative charge, this will get slightly positive charge, and will get slightly negative charge. And it's very polar. It's highly polar. So if you see, this RMgX is nothing but the Grignard reagent in 1900 by Victor Grignard. This is a very critical reagent. We have used this reagent in class 11th also, when we have formed various kinds of reactions, addition reactions. So this is my Grignard reagent, and this is RMgX. So this is my alkyl halide RBr. You react with magnesium in presence of dry ether, you get RMgX. Correct? And if you see, the carbon magnesium bond here, if you see, is covalent, but it's highly polar. This is very polar. And these are very reactive. And they react with even small amount of proton to give hydrocarbon. The reaction goes like this. If I have RMgX, which is very reactive, if you react with water, it gives RH plus MgOH. It's very reactive, and that's why it has to be free from moisture. It has to be free from moisture. So even a small amount of moisture, that is water, it will react. Very reactive substance, highly polar. So there are two things about this: highly polar, and they are very reactive. They are organometallic compound, and they are used as a reagent in a lot of chemical reactions. Now we'll start with haloarenes. We'll start about the chemical properties of haloarenes. We'll talk about the nucleophilic substitution. We'll talk about eliminations, and we'll talk about the reaction with metals. Similar to haloalkenes, we'll talk about these things for haloarenes now. Please know we are talking about haloarenes now, not haloalkenes. Correct? Something like this. Okay. We're talking about things like this. Arenes with chlorine, for example, chlorobenzene. We'll talk about these kind of compounds. First, we'll talk about the nucleophilic substitution reaction. See, for nucleophilic substitution reaction, the one which attacks is nucleophile, right? The nucleophile always looks for positive charge. Correct? Correct. Also, if CX bond, it has to break CX bond. But in this case of haloarenes, the CX bond is very strong. And thus, the nucleophilic substitution is not easy. It is less reactive. It is not easy, right? So if you take aryl halides, so they are not very much reactive towards nucleophilic substitution reaction. The reasons are four: the resonance effect, the sp3 hybridized carbon in CX bond, instability of phenylcation, and the repulsion. We'll talk about all these four effects, due to which we will see that the aryl halides are not very much prone to nucleophilic substitution reaction. So we'll see that due to resonance effect, the haloarenes will acquire a partial double bond. The CX bond which we have, right, will be partial double bond. And that's why it's difficult to break this bond. We'll see that. Let's take this chlorobenzene, for example. Right, so let's suppose this is my chlorobenzene. Chlorine with the electrons here. So now what will happen is this chlorine will give some electron to this guy, and this will move in this direction. So what you'll get, a new structure you'll make is chlorine with a double bond, the positive charge and a negative charge comes here. Negative charge comes here, and this is my bond. You can do more actually. This bond can also shift in this direction. So with that, what you get is chlorine with a double bond again with the positive charge. You'll form a bond here, and the negative charge will come here. Negative charge will come here, and this is the bond. You can draw more resonating structure for this, and this will be again with the chlorine with the positive charge, and this bond will shift in this direction. You'll get a bond here, and here you get a negative charge. You see there are so many resonating structure, right? So with this, there are two things which you notice. First thing is that CX bond is double bond, right? So it's difficult to break, correct? So difficult to break. First thing is what? Difficult to break CX bond. Why? Because of partial double bond. And the second thing is that due to resonance, this reactant is stable. Reactant is stable due to resonance. Since this reactant is stable due to resonance, it will not have extra urge to react. Correct. So with the resonance effect, we can explain that the nucleophilic substitution is difficult. So what you call SN1 or 2, whatever you want, is difficult. Correct. So we have seen the resonance played a role to explain why nucleophilic substitution is difficult in case of haloarenes. Now we'll try to explain why nucleophilic substitution is difficult because of sp2 hybridization. If you see any haloalkane, if you take haloalkane, let's suppose this is VSCS3, CH2, and let's suppose Cl. This is a haloalkane, and let's take one haloarene. Let's take chlorobenzene once again. So if you see this carbon, this is my hero carbon, this is my hero carbon here. So in this carbon, it is 1, 2, 3, 4, that is sp3 hybridized. See this carbon, 1, 2, 3, that is sp2 hybridized, right? So the hero carbon here is sp3 hybridized, here it is sp2 hybridized. sp2 hybridized means more percentage S character. Correct. More percentage S character that means it is more electronegative. So that means if I compare these two carbon, let's suppose this carbon is carbon 1 and this carbon is, let's suppose, carbon 2 here. So carbon 2 is more electronegative than carbon 1. Why? Because carbon 2 is sp2 hybridized, more percentage S character, so it is more electronegative. Correct? It can hold the halogen tightly. That means CX bond will be stronger. So in case if you see the CX bond in haloalkane, if you see, that is 177 picometer, that is the length, but the same CX bond length in haloarene, if you see, is less, 169 picometer. That means this is more stable, more strong, right? This is strong bond. So very strong bond is difficult to break, and we know that for substitution it is mandatory to break the bond. CX bond breakage is mandatory. So if this bond is strong, it will be difficult to break the bond, and thus the nucleophilic substitution will be difficult in case of haloarenes based on this parameter. That it is sp2 hybridized. Correct. Now let's see the unstable cation thing. So let's assume that you have this chlorobenzene and you somehow manage to remove the halogen. This becomes positive charge. Now if this becomes positive charge, if you see, you can't create a resonating structure. Correct. But in this case of, let's suppose, chlorobenzene, you have seen that you were able to create resonating structure. Correct. So now since you are not able to create resonating structure, that means this is unstable and this is stable. So it will not like to go into unstable state. So cation formation also is difficult because the cation is unstable. So SN1 is totally ruled out. Totally ruled out. SN2 possibility is there, but again, if you see this carbon is totally sterically hindered, right? Difficult, there is no space, less space. So SN2 also is difficult. So SN2 is possible slightly, but difficult. SN1 is totally ruled out, because for SN1 reaction to happen, the carbocation formation is mandatory. But here we see the carbocation itself is very, very unstable as you compare to the original reactant. So carbocation won't be formed. Let's see the fourth one, the repulsion. So if you see this guy, so the nucleophiles are what? Nucleophiles are, they themselves are the one which loves nucleus. That means they are electron rich. Correct? So if you see the nucleolized, typical example is Cn minus, OH minus, right? These are my nucleophiles, Cl minus, Br minus, these are my nucleophiles. They are electron rich. But if you see haloarenes, they are also electron rich. So if you see haloarenes are also electron rich. So if haloarenes are electron rich, the nucleophiles are electron rich, there will be repulsion between them, because as I told, like repels like, right? So positive attracts negative, but positive repel positive, negative repel negative, right? This we have seen. This we know, electrostatic force of attraction. So same charge repel each other, opposite charge attract each other. So haloarenes itself are electron rich, nucleophiles are electron rich, so they will repel each other. Correct? So that is also one reason why nucleophilic substitution is little difficult in haloarenes. So let's talk about the different kind of reaction we'll talk about in haloarenes. So what we have told till now is haloarenes, right? It's difficult to go for nucleophilic reactions. Why we told was this is more electron rich, right? So what if we can add some electron withdrawing group, for example NO2. So this NO2 will withdraw electron. So this will become electron rich to electron poor. So in that case, nucleophilic reactions is possible. So we'll see those kind of thing where we'll try to have reactions in haloarenes, where we'll try to add some electron withdrawing groups which will make it more compliant for a nucleophilic substitution reaction. So in this case, we'll see the replacement of halogen by OH group. We'll also see electrophilic substitution reaction. As I told, these are electron rich, so it can go for electrophilic substitution reaction. In that case, we'll talk about halogenation, nitration, sulfonation, Friedel-Crafts reaction. We'll also see reactions with metal. In that case, we'll see two types of reaction: Rouge-Fittig reaction and Fittig reaction. So let's start with the first one, where we are saying that we'll have a nucleophilic SN2 reaction and we'll replace X by OH. So they told the nucleophilic substitution for a haloarene is difficult. So this happens only at drastic conditions. So we'll see this reaction. We'll have a chlorobenzene here. This is reaction. This is a chlorobenzene, and under drastic condition, I'll add this NaOH. NaOH will give a very strong base OH minus, right? And then its OH minus is a very strong nucleophile actually. At 623 Kelvin, high temperature, high pressure, and we will give H plus. Look this. With this, you get OH here. This Cl will be replaced by OH. This is what happens. This happens in a very drastic condition, right? You have to increase the pressure, increase the temperature, and then you get phenol here from chlorobenzene. So let's see this reaction mechanism. This is SN2 reaction. So let's see the mechanism. So I have a chlorobenzene here. Let me draw this chlorobenzene. This is my chlorobenzene. And on this, my OH minus is a nucleophile that attacked this particular carbon. Correct? Because this is my carbon on which I have a good leaving group attached. Cl is a good leaving group. Now with this, what will happen is this carbon atom this will get a negative charge here, right? So to compensate the negative charge, this bond will break, because see, this carbon also has one hydrogen here, correct? Now if my OH is also added, so if you see this hydrogen here, right? So it will be what? You see the bonds here, there will be OH bond, there is Cl, there is hydrogen. So number of bond is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Carbon is tetravalent, it can't have 5 bond. So this bond will break and negative charge will come here. So with this, what you will get it, this is a very slow step. So what you get is this compound with a negative charge here, and this is my compound with H and Cl and OH. Correct? Now if you see, this particular carbon is my tetravalent and this is my compound. And if you see, this is resonance stabilized. You can draw more resonating structure for this compound. Actually, so this negative charge will go here, so it will become a negative. There will be a bond here. It will be H, Cl and OH. You can have a more shift in this direction. So what will happen here is, this will become a negative charge. This is positive and negative form of bond, and this is H, Cl and OH. So with this is stable actually, because it has so many resonance structures, right? So now this happens in the same together actually, but since this resonance structure is stable, I'm telling you, so this chlorine will leave, because chlorine is a leaving group. So this chlorine will leave, right? And this positive charge will come here, positive and negative will form a bond. So with that, what you get is this compound. So you'll get H and OH. This is nothing but a phenol. This is a fast step, right? Correct? SN2, there was no carbocation form. This OH attacked from behind and it expelled this Cl out. Correct? Thank you. Visit examfear.com to watch free educational videos, try free online tests, get the best quality study materials, study from the best tutors and mentors, and much more. Thanks once again.